Yo, you know what time it is. Look, we back. Today is September 1st. There are 773 laws that drop right here in Texas today. I'm going to run y'all through a few of them, man. Let's go. Blah. Okay, we back. 774 laws were passed, or bills were passed on today or dropped today. They were gone through. You know how the process goes, and I am going to run you through about 21 of them. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it. First thing we want to deal with is House Bill number 3. You can find all this information capital.texas.gov under reports. And this is Texas legislative bills effective on September 1st, 2023, 88th legislature regular session. Report date September 1st, 2023. That will be today. House Bill number 3 talks about regulating the measures for ensuring public school safety, including the development and implementation of purchasing, regulated, and funding for public school safety and security requirements, and the provision of the safety related resources. This one is clearly simply talking about making sure the schools have the funding to provide armed security. Armed security. House Bill number 3. Look that up. It's a lot of information that goes into this. I'm just going to breeze through this. I only got 8 minutes. I'm going to run through this right quick, make sure we get them. The next one, House Bill number 30. House Bill number 30 talks about, it's relating to the access to certain law enforcement, corrections, and prosecutorial records under public information law, which means they are no longer mandated to give you all of the information regarding to that particular officer. I really want y'all to not take what I'm saying as law. I want you to look this stuff up. This is House Bill number 30, meaning there is some information that they may withhold and that they may let loose if it's involving an officer of the law. Peace officers, so on and so forth. Cop does something crazy and everybody wants to know all of their information. They are going to disseminate how much information they are going to push out and let you or give you privy to if it doesn't have anything to do with the case. Right? Because a lot of times something happens, we want to know who, what, when, where, why, and how about this particular individual as a person, not so much as an officer. All right, dig into that. That is a very good one. The next one I'm going to talk about is House Bill. We're skipping over a lot of these. The House Bill 165. All right, House Bill 165. This is a big one for a lot of you in the African American or Black community. It is relating to the prosecution of and punishment for an aggravated assault according to the report of a mass shooting. I'm sorry, I kind of mixed that up. This is a mass shooter. I have no idea how I mixed it up. Yeah, no, I didn't mix it up. I just read it wrong. House Bill 165 is talking about the mass shooting. Anything more than 4, again, go look this up. Don't just take what I'm saying. Literally take some time to go read. Anything more than 4 people will be considered as a mass shooting right here in the state of Texas. House Bill 567, that's the protective hairstyle bill. They can no longer, let me get to it right quick here. House Bill 567, relating to the discrimination on the basis of hair texture or protective style associated with race. It is what it is, all right? I don't know how far that's going to go so far as the bonnets and all that other kind of stuff, however, but protective styles like braids, dreads, and stuff like that, they got to leave you alone. They can't not give you the job simply because of your hairstyle. And I think it's more than that. That's any discrimination, will it be job or anything else, all right? So that's a good one. Let's go to the next one. Real big one. House Bill 568 talks about the required education and training for police officers when interacting with persons with Alzheimer's disease or other dementias. Real big. The big problem we have out there is when cops show up to a scene, they're not actually trained to work with the individuals of whom which they were called for, right? Not all individuals are 100% criminals. Some of them might have Alzheimer's or dementia or anything, any mental illness. I do appreciate that they're going to increase the training for that. Now, House Bill 611. All right, big one. posting of people's information, right? Relating to the creation of criminal offense of the unlawful disclosure of residence address or telephone number. If something happens, you get mad at somebody, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot find out their information and phone number and post that online because you are angry. You have now committed a criminal offense. The levels of criminal offenses, of course, all inside these bills when you go look them up. Again, that is House Bill 611. Do not, under any circumstances, get all poopy faced and post somebody's personal info. Bad, bad, bad. House Bill 1633. Let's go down to it. Yeah, I'm skipping all the way down to 1633. House Bill 1633 talks about veterans and their disability and their parking, right? Now, it is what it is. For those of you who are veterans, we can get a little anal about stuff. We can act fool about stuff like that. Just make sure if you are a veteran, don't be a jerk, okay? Not everybody knows you're a veteran because you drive a specific car. Go ahead and put your tag up, okay? If you don't have it on your license plate, put your tag on the dashboard or hang it over the little rearview mirror. Don't be a jerk about that. They are going to crack down that. And I'm going to get to it in a minute. They are also cracking down on those who park in disabled spots and not supposed to. That's another big thing because of that, all right? So let's go to 1760. 1760. Here we go. This is related to the prosecution of the offense of possessing a weapon in certain prohibited places associated with schools or post-secondary educational institutions. Of course, the school has to post that 30-6, 30-7 if they are going to allow you to do so. Again, it is still 1,000 feet. Make sure you go take the license to carry. Of course, it's simply because all this information is in there. All right. And a lot of people don't know the laws who are just open carry because, no, you can just open carry. We don't have to have a license carry. No, you don't have to have a license carry, but you are required to know these laws. Now, I am not going to go through all these laws, but if you're not going to sit down and go through 774 House bills that were dropped for today and decipher which ones are related to firearms, then, well, you might want to take a firearms course take a license to carry course, at least just for the gee whiz knowledge. If you don't want to put in the information to go get your license, cool. But you do need to take the course so that you understand what's actually going on. All right. House Bill 2291 says that judges and ex-judges can now carry a firearm. Okay. Also, they have one in here for clerk of courts as well, I think. I'm going to get to that in a second. 2306. All right. I'm going to actually click on this one. Let me get to it. 700. Let me scroll through. I'm doing the best I can, y'all. Bear with me. Here we go. 2306, related to the prosecution of the criminal offense of voyeurism. Listen to this. This is a rabbit hole, okay? Because this is saying that in the event you decide to view someone in their privacy without their consent, that is now a criminal offense. All right. And here's what's happening. Let me go ahead and read this to you right quick. All right. Related to the prosecution of criminal offense of voyeurism. Okay. Be it enacted by the legislature of the state of Texas, section 21.17 Penal Code, as amended, to read this as follows. All right. Here we go. A person commits an offense if the person with the intent to arouse or gratify the sexual desire of the actor, the person watching, observe the person watching, including remotely through the use of electronic means, another person without the other person's consent, while the other person is in the dwelling of structure in which the other person has a reasonable expectation of privacy, which means you cannot hack into someone's private camera or ring camera that's inside their bedroom, living room, blah, 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 blah. You can't do that. Hotel cameras, no. Apartment cameras, no. That is a big thing. They're cracking down on that. Let's go back here. All right. We got that. Now let's talk about, big one, 28. Let's go to 2887. Not 2887, 2837, excuse me. 2837. It talks about relating to the prohibiting a person or entity from surveilling, reporting, or tracking the purchase of a firearm, ammunition, and accessory through the use of certain merchant category codes imposing a civil penalty. That means they can no longer track or surveil or report the tracking of firearm, ammunition, accessories of the sort. Okay, really good because with there are other states that you go buy ammo, they write your name down. Or you go buy a gun, they tell you got to transfer it in this and all that. We're not doing that here in the state of Texas, so I definitely appreciate that. There are those of you, and I'm going to talk about this, even though it's not firearms related. This is 2A and everything else. Let's go to 2897, House Bill 2897. That's regarding, watch this, the prosecution of the offense of theft of service. Real big for your service rendering entrepreneurs. Now, I saw something where they did someone's hair and the young lady decided to get up without paying. Whoa, big no. That is not, you will now be prosecuted for that. Real quick, it is my thing. I will go ahead and say, for those of you who render services, go ahead and take your payment up front. Do what you're supposed to do and leave it there. We got to stop doing services, right, without payment. Get your payment first, then render the service. On the flip side, that way, of course, you present, an invoice, receipt. That way, if there are any complaints, you take it up with the Better Business Bureau, you name it. However, theft of service is a thing now, and I appreciate that. I'm sure some of you do. Now, House Bill, watch this. House Bill 3075 from this FAA stuff from my drone pilots. You cannot fly your drone over the jail or Department of Correction facilities, anything like that. Keep note of that. All right, here we go. 3137. Let's pull that up right quick. 3137 talks about prohibited local regulation with respect to the firearm or air gun. All right, let me dig into that. Excuse me if I'm still on the words. I'm hungry. I need to eat something, right? Okay. All right, let's do it. Relating to prohibited local regulation with respect to a firearm or air gun. Okay. And it is saying, okay, a municipality may not adopt or enforce regulations that relate to the transfer, possession, wearing, carrying, ownership, storage, transportation, licensing, or registration of firearms, air guns, knives, ammunition, or firearm or air gun supplies or accessory, commerce in firearms, air guns, knives, ammunition, or firearm of air gun supplies, accessories, or the discharge of a firearm or air gun in a sport shooting range, or require an owner of a firearm to obtain liability insurance coverage for the damages resulting from negligence or willful acts involving the use of a firearm. Very, 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 very big one. Please, please, please take some time out to look this up. This is House Bill number 3137. And it's literally talking about the regulations, cannot enforce regulations that have to do with the whole firearm usage, insurance, purchasing, all of that. Real big one. Let's go back here. Where are we? We're almost there, y'all. We're almost there. Now, real big one that is huge for me, and I appreciate it. Something I've been complaining about here for a long time, which is why, and I'll be transparent. A quote from the community security, our security company, we do not hire anyone who is not going through our specific training. We literally developed a curriculum for new hires who come from somewhere else who are already certified. And here's why. House Bill 3424. Let me get there. House Bill 3424 related to the eligibility and training requirements for commissioned security officers and personal protection officers. They are changing. They're making it a little bit more stringent, and I'm grateful. Our curriculum still meets and exceeds by leaps and bounds. The curriculum, however, I appreciate the increase in curriculum when it comes down to training of level 3 and level 4 officers to make us a lot more competent and a lot more professional. Again, I purposely will not hire anyone who has not gone through a Kofina Academy, and that is why, because there's so much liability attached to it. Yep. All right, here we go. House Bill 4528. Pay attention. House Bill 4528. It says an officer can, should, will take your driver's license if you refuse a field sobriety test. It's also an issue if the officer asks you for your driver's license and you refuse to give it to him. Look it up. We're talking about House Bill 4528. Let me dig a little bit into it, give you a little bit of that. Since we're almost done, we're moving faster than I thought we would. Let me see. It's a lot. All right, 4528. Yes. Relating to the requirements that a peace officer take possession of a person's driver's license following the person's failure to pass or refusal to consent to a test for intoxication. That's the field sobriety test right there. All right. Okay, now here's another one. We're going to scroll all the way down to 5,142. 5142. 5142 is relating to the issuance of specially marked driver's licenses and personal identification certificates to veterans. This is also saying if you go into the status, hey, we need you to prove that you served in the military, you're a veteran. That driver's license that says veteran on it, they have to accept that. That is awesome. So you don't have to always pull out your DD Form 214 all the time because you actually had to have your DD Form 214 to get it put on the license anyway. Good one for that. Now let's go to the state bills. Here we go. SB 15. This is a big one. SB 15, related to requiring public institution of higher learning students who compete in intercollegiate athletic competitions to compete based on their biological sex. You can only compete in an arena of which you were born. I support that 100%. All right. SB 37, hazing. Hazing is illegal. It always has been illegal. However, because as of September 1st, they're going to up those charges for hazing. All right? No hazing. I'm not going to dig too deep in that. All right. SB 58, we come to a close here. Let me dig into this one. Here we go. SB 58. Online sales of goods, right? Here we go. For commercial purposes, a person may not sell, use, or cause to be used any technology, device, or software in the sale of a good on an internet website that functions as a bypass in the purchasing of a bypass of the purchasing process, disguises the identity of the purchaser, permits the purchase or a quality of goods in a number that exceeds the maximum number of goods that may be sold to one purchaser as specified by the seller or operator on that website. For those of you who sell products online, dig into this. This is SB 58. SB 58. I'm not going to take up too much time on that, but SB 58 is something you want to hop on. All right, here we go. Last one, last but not least, a huge one that I appreciate. Let's see here. SB 999. SB 999. One of my favorites. Okay, so a lot of you see behind me, you see the Navarro College, Texas Commission of Law Enforcement, firearms instructor. Right here, they are saying, this is relating to the requirement that providers of active shooter training at public schools and institutions of higher learning obtain a certificate by the Texas Commission of Law Enforcement. Right behind me. Okay? You have to be certified by the Texas Commission of Law Enforcement as an instructor for active shooter training. And there we have it. Really, really simple, not too difficult, but it is a thing. And I think I am going to stop there. I encourage you all to go take a gander at the report that dropped today. And I'm going to read off what that report is. Scroll all the way up here. Texas legislator bills effective on September 1st, 2023, the 88th legislature regular session. Report date 9/1/23. A number of 774 bills were dropped. A few of them have lengthy reads. However, I encourage you to read. Reading is fundamental. They say if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book. Go read, go read, go read. This is old for Body about Tactical. Go from the community security. We love y'all. One thing for sure, two things for certain. We're going to put the paint where it ain't. Yay!